I stepped into the shower, but I wasn't alone. It still sends a chill down my spine when I remember that day, even though it started off so normal, so calm, so routine. My name is Emily Carter. I live in a modest 2-bedroom apartment on the outskirts of Portland. It's just me and my younger brother, Noah, who moved in with me after college while trying to find a steady job. We've always had a good relationship, the kind that comes from sharing childhood memories and looking out for one another. That morning, I had come back from my early shift at the cafe. My clothes smelled like cinnamon rolls and coffee grounds, and all I wanted was a long, hot shower to rinse the scent off. Noah had told me he had a couple of interviews that day and might not be back until the evening. So I walked into the apartment, kicked off my shoes, and didn't even think twice as I walked into the bathroom. I turned the water on and watched. The steam slowly filled the room. It was comforting, familiar, but comfort has a strange way of deceiving you. I stepped under the warm stream, my eyes closed, the sound of the water drowning out the noise from the rest of the world. It was a moment of peace. Then I heard a slight scrape against the floor tile. At first, I dismissed it. Maybe a bottle slipping in the corner, or the old building creaking. But then I heard it again unmistakably close, like a shuffle. My eyes snapped open. I could feel a shift in the air behind the shower curtain, like someone else was in the bathroom with me. My heart rate picked up. I stayed frozen for a second, straining to hear anything else. "Noah?" I called out, hoping he had come home early and was just grabbing something. There was no answer. I slowly reached for the curtain and slid it aside, only to find the bathroom empty. No sign of anyone. The door was slightly ajar, though I was sure I had closed it. A strange sense of unease crept into me. I stepped out quickly, wrapped myself in a towel, and checked the apartment. Every room, every closet, nothing. Maybe I had imagined it. Maybe I was just tired from the shift and my mind was playing tricks on me. That's what I told myself. Still, I locked the bathroom door when I went back in something I didn't usually do and made a mental note to tell Noah about it later. That night, Noah didn't come home. He texted me that he had met up with some friends after his interviews and would stay the night at a friend's place. I shrugged it off and went to bed, but my sleep was restless. I kept hearing faint noises like creaking wood and shifting furniture even though I knew no one else was supposed to be home. The next morning when I woke up, I found muddy footprints on the floor, leading from the front door to the hallway. My stomach dropped. I checked the door. It was locked. Windows also locked. I tried to convince myself maybe I had brought the mud in yesterday and just didn't notice. Still, I called the building manager and asked if any maintenance had been scheduled. He said no one had entered my apartment. I couldn't shake the feeling that someone had been in the apartment while I was in the shower. But how and who? Over the next few days, small things kept happening. A glass that had been in the cabinet was suddenly in the sink. My makeup bag, which I kept zipped, was found open. My drawers were slightly out of place. Nothing was stolen, just disturbed. I started to think I was losing my mind. But then something happened that proved I wasn't. I came home from work one afternoon and found the shower running. The door was locked from the inside. My hands trembled as I knocked. No response. I called out again louder this time. Still silence. I ran to the kitchen and grabbed a butter knife, jimmying the lock open with shaking fingers and pushing the door in slowly. The shower was indeed running, steam curling against the mirror, but no one was inside. The air was thick. The tiles still wet as if someone had just left moments before. I turned off the water and checked the entire apartment again. This time, I found something, a gray hoodie I didn't recognize, tucked under my bed. That's when it hit me. Someone had been inside. Someone was still coming inside. I called Noah and told him everything. He rushed back that night, his face pale as I showed him the hoodie. We decided to set up a few small cameras around the apartment. Nothing professional, just a few cheap ones we could sync to our phones. One in the living room, one in the hallway, and one outside the bathroom. For a few nights, nothing happened. I started to think maybe it was over, or maybe whoever it was had realized we knew. But then one night, while Noah was out, I got an alert on my phone from the hallway camera. It was almost midnight. I opened the app and froze. A man I didn't recognize, maybe in his late 30s, wearing a dark jacket and jeans, was walking through our hallway calmly, as if he belonged there. He moved toward the bathroom door and stopped for a moment, listening. Then he turned, looked directly into the camera and smiled. I didn't wait. I ran out of the apartment and called the police. They came quickly, but by the time they arrived, the man was gone. No sign of forced entry. Nothing stolen. Just gone. The footage was clear, though. The police launched an investigation. They suspected he had been entering through the fire, escape, and had somehow made a copy of our apartment key, maybe from a key drop, maybe through a locksmith scam. We had the locks changed immediately and installed more secure windows. I couldn't sleep for nights after that. Eventually, they caught him. He had broken into several apartments in the neighborhood, not to steal, but to watch, to observe people in their most private moments. He had a history, prior charges for stalking, but nothing that had landed him in prison long term. This time, with the footage we gave and the hoodie with his DNA, it was enough to keep him behind bars for a long time. But even now, months later, I still find myself checking the bathroom before every shower, locking every door, watching every shadow. The idea that someone could be so close without you knowing that. They could be inside while you were vulnerable, unaware, is something you never really recover from. Noah and I eventually moved. A new place. Better locks. Better security. But the memory lingers. The feeling of that moment, the helplessness of standing in the shower and realizing you're not alone, that never really fades. I share this story not to scare you, but to remind you that safety isn't just about what's outside your home. Sometimes the real danger finds its way inside when you least expect it. So if you're ever in the shower and feel something off, don't ignore it. Trust your instincts. I didn't at first, and I was lucky to get out unharmed. But not everyone is that lucky. What started as a strange noise in the shower became the scariest experience of my life. And I'll never again take that feeling for granted. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Stay safe and trust your instincts.